everybody. This is Vicky Schettini, and I am so excited. I just been lucky enough to be able to sit here and talk to Robert Belle. You would not believe he's got a book called Blow the Lid Off. And I'm gonna let him talk to you about it, but I believe everything he's saying. So thank you for coming and speaking to me today.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
I'm excited. And I get to cheat because I was able to talk to him about maybe 5 or 10 minutes before, and I'm really, really excited. We have a lot in common that I didn't even know about. So tell us exactly, what is it? You said you are on a mission. Tell us more about your mission, what you're trying to do.
Okay. I'm on a mission to dismantle this invisible line between professionals and the creative world. And I want to reconstruct that line into a circle so that people on both ends of the extreme, people who are in professions like accountancy and people who are creative, can merge together. And I take them around on a very exciting journey.
I love it. I love it. I have to say, and I did share this when I first started back in my young days, my major was accounting, and that was the reason why I quit, is because it was such a lonely job. I was there to all wee hours of the night and there was no people around. So yeah, I said, no, I need to be around people. So I think it's a great message, and it's funny that you picked accounting. So how are you going about to doing this, doing the merge, getting everybody together?
All right, so the method I'm using right now is speaking to both sides of the spectrum. So because I'm an accountant, I can speak well to accountants and doctors and lawyers, because I think there's no one less creative than accountants. I'm taking a shot at myself. I mean, from your own
I agree with
self-admission.
you. I agree with you on that one, 100%.
Yeah, and then I'm also going to the other extreme of the spectrum, those who identify to be creative. In my practice, in my business, I work with mainly creative type entrepreneurs, helping them to establish a structure around it. So I'm trying to get the benefits of both worlds, bring it back to my little home in the middle of the line, and then just constructing a community around it so people can come. At least you initially identify what you know, and then I slowly just feed you on new information and take you to different levels. So bringing the creative people to learn the business side of things, and then bringing the accounting, and when I say accounting in quotes, people like accountants, to understand that, you can have ideas, you can communicate with people. It's basically putting the left brain and the right side of the brain together. That's how I'm doing it.
And that's very important, because I think, in life, I mean, we all have life happening too. At one point or another, you're going to have life happen. And it's so much better if you're doing what you enjoy doing. It's just so much better. And it is hard, though. We were all trained, at least at me as a little girl, you were supposed to go to school, get a job, and do what you were meant to do. We weren't taught to be creative. We weren't taught to think outside the box, even though I'm a true believer of it. So what would you say to those people that can be creative, but for so many years, we just been trained not to be creative, like just follow the system. 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah, it's a tragedy. For me, the reason why I call my book "Blow the Lid Off," because it's a conspiracy. It's we need to blow the lid off this conspiracy that we are not creative, and the first way to do that is by demystifying what is creativity. Creativity is not about arts. It's not about music. It starts there, but it expands to so many different places. Creativity is just about searching information and combining them together. It's a dual function. If you look at the definition, it's about something that's novel and something that's useful. And we all can come up with something useful and something novel. We all have that ability. Science tells us that being creative is a natural function of the human brain. There's nothing abnormal There's nothing super miraculous about it. It's a natural function of processing information in our brains. So that's just the first step, that we all have the ability to be creative. And as you said, we've suppressed it over the years. Go to school and do this and do that. And, I want to relate it to what we're going through right now as a world, with the pandemic. Because we've been raised like that, we are so used to being instructed what to do that we're in a panic right now. Because everyone is sitting down and wondering, so who's going to tell us what to do? Because we've not developed that capacity on an individual, on a societal level, that we can come up with our own solutions. So we've suppressed our creativity. We're not used to being in an uncertain area, and we are really panicking. And everyone is looking to the government to tell us what to do, thinking that the government are the ones who comes up with ideas. The government is good at implementing things. They're not necessarily the best at coming up with ideas,
I agree.
So we're all just sitting wondering, what do we do? No one is sitting thinking, what can we do? We keep asking, we keep waiting for an instruction.
Yes, and I fully agree. Do you think, I think also part of it is because we haven't been trained to think outside the box. That's what I call it. I always tell people, and I think my hearing keeps getting caught, but I always tell people, the more outside the box you think and do, the better you're going to be in anything, in business, in a relationship, or whatnot. But I also feel that it has to come, you have to have the confidence. And that's also hard to do when you know, some people might not be outspoken and they might have some amazing ideas. And we are all different, so we all channel things different. For someone that may not be so outspoken and maybe even shy, um, what how would you be able to help them?
Excellent. Self-admission. If you wanted to label me, I'm super introverted. Super.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Definitely. Speaking is not my strong suit. I don't speak because I like to speak. I speak because I believe in the message that I'm speaking. So I speak because I have to speak. So I've just developed the skill of speaking, but it doesn't mean that I'm outspoken. I know a number of people who know me will be like, no, you're not introverted. But I truly am. Give me a book, put me somewhere, I keep telling people I would easily sign up for those jobs where you go on a deserted island for 6 months and measure biological, whatever. I can do that. No human contact. I can do that. But anyway, so I understand the predicament some people are in. It's just like what you said, we're not trained to do it. And this is the tragedy that we find ourselves in. We tend to look at our value from an outward in perspective. What I mean by that is we look at the world, we look at everyone outside of the world, we look at the successful people, and then we look inside of us and realize, okay, what I have inside, I don't think that can match up to what people are doing. But we have it completely wrong. We're supposed to look inward first. We're supposed to get to our heart center. We're supposed to look inside of us, be creative, realize that what we have inside of us is unique, special, and valuable. And then we look outward and like, where can these gifts, these abilities, these ideas that I have fit into this world? But we tend to do it the opposite way around. When we look at the world, okay, people are this, they're accountant, they're that, we have to be labeled by a profession. Then I look at myself, I don't even have a GED, I dropped out of school, so therefore I'm worthless. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So we lack that confidence because we try to match up with the status quo, not realizing that we are the status. You have to bring your own status to the conversation. So my advice is if someone is struggling with thinking that they have to be outspoken, don't worry about that. That's just the means by which you're going to get your message out. First, be convicted on the message that you have, on the gift that you have, the ideas that you have. And you can only get to that point when you learn to make failure your friend. You're going to have to try some things, try your ideas out, put them out, get feedback, and then that way you continuously develop the confidence. It's not going to happen overnight.
And you just brought up some feelings. I was very, very shy when I went to college. I literally could not walk from my car to the building. I just thought everybody was staring at me. And anxiety was kicking in. I mean, they didn't call it anxiety back then, but it was really, really bad. And it went throughout. I took an acting class, and that did help quite a bit, but I was still not good. I remember the first big job that I had. Every week they had these awards, and this one guy, main guy that got the awards, they call his name, they said how many hundreds, thousands of dollars he made that month. And this guy gets up, great looking, guy, charisma, very, hey, like he just glowed. He glowed confidence. And I'm pretty sure you guys out there, someone like that. Well, I thought, well, of course, it's because people like him, because look at him. How can he go wrong, right? So then they call the second guy. And they call the second guy, and I'm looking around, and this little guy gets up, and I'm thinking he's probably the janitor or somebody. And I'm like, keep looking around. Oh my God, the second Y was the second, big money bags guy. This guy, when I tell you guys, I was taller than him. He couldn't even look. I don't think till this day, we worked in the same office for like 3 years. He never could ever look at me straight in the face and look down the majority of the time. And he just did not give up. He just kept going for his purpose. It took him longer because he couldn't look at people in the face, but he did it. When I realized who he was, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm shy, but I can fake being outgoing. This guy could not even fake it. So, kind of like the old adage, it's, you fake it till you make it. You have to position yourself to just do it. And the more you do it, the easier it is. It just becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, so two quick thoughts on that, just to help people, because I know the previous response, people are still thinking, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I still can't do it. I just still can't stand up. I still can't speak. One, there's a quote, I can't remember who said it, but you must learn a new way to think before you can master a new way to be.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
A reprogramming has to happen. We have identified and we know that we've suppressed our creativity, we've suppressed our inner value for so long, it's not going to change overnight. So you have to reprogram the way you think about yourself before you can master being that new person. So here you are, you're sitting, you're nervous, you're anxious, you can't speak in front of people, which was me, by the way. If you told me 20 years ago I would be speaking, I'll be in a podcast, no one would believe you. I was that guy who would stand up and literally shake. I would shake so much, you would have to physically put me back down in my seat. I couldn't move.
Oh my goodness.
Froze,
Yeah.
like completely froze. So I had to reprogram my mind. I had to reprogram my mind that I can get that done, right? So that's step number one, is that you have to master a new way to think before you can master a new way to be, right? But also don't be paralyzed too much in thinking. At one point, you have to step out. Just got to step out and get it done, right? Two is have a connection. The person who you describe, head down, I would say that's usually us accountants. We just hand you the reports. Here's the quarter one report. We don't make eye contact. Yes, we have a lot of information. So one way to get out of that position, being introverted and being shy, is make a connection. Make a connection, and there's various levels you can connect with. You can connect to a problem, and then you can connect to a person, and then you can connect to a person with a problem. You see, when you connect what you're doing with a problem, you kind of put on blinders to whatever else is happening. So just find a problem. What is the problem? The problem is the business is not making money or whatever is happening. So you need to find a way to communicate that in a manner that connects with the people who have that problem. Because creativity has to bring a solution. It has to be useful. And that's when it becomes true creativity. It's not about painting. It's not about playing an instrument. It's about finding the solution, improving something, improving someone. So make that connection. You have to be able to just connect with something. And I connected with my accountant friends. That's how I started. And I started this mission a few years ago, but I was very passive about it. Wasn't sure of myself. And then we started seeing reports from World Economic Forum. The jobs that are mostly at stake are accounting jobs, reconciliation, clerk jobs, because of AI. And then that's when I was like, no, I have to keep pushing this. I have to keep pushing this. So I connected with that problem that people are facing mass layoffs, mass replacement because of AI. And people have this fear that, computers are taking my job. Computer is never going to take your job, right? I keep saying that a job can become redundant, but you can never become redundant. A human being can never become redundant, right? Because we have something unique that a machine can never, ever do, and that's be creative.
Exactly. It's true. You're 100% right. I mean, I love what your message is all about. I'm a strong believer to, just do it. And if you are an introvert, and I've been there, and I've been that person that, believe it or not, people won't believe it, but I was, um, as my speech teacher, I think she gave me a D because she felt sorry for me, but, um, it, you, a lot of the times, and I'm not gonna say it's 100% of the time, but 99% of the time, it's all in our head. We just think, I literally would think that everybody was staring at me as I would walk from the car to the building. Nobody was looking at me. No one. But in my head, they probably just looked at me to wave or something. But, we are our worst enemies. So you just have to do it. And the
Yeah.
more you do it, the easier it is. I love
Can
what you
can
got
I
to say.
can I just dig a little deeper on it? Just to, I'm getting some thoughts in my head just to connect with those guys who are listening and who are watching. The biggest breakthrough is going to happen when you can control your feelings, your emotions. I was just doing some reflection the other day, and this thought came to my head that when you feel uncomfortable, when you feel like you can't make it, that's when the breakthrough is about to happen. But only when you allow your feelings to take a back seat. Because feelings will always choose comfort, but your destiny requires disruption. The only how you're going to change is by allowing disruption in your life. Don't resist it so much. That means you have to take the step. You have to step up on the stage. You have to connect to that person. You have to reach out. You have to ask for that date.
Yeah.
You have to ask. You have to ask for increased prices. Whatever aspect of life or business you're in, you have to actually make that step up. But it comes to the point where you have to learn to acknowledge your feelings, particularly the negative ones, because neuroscience tells us that when we have negative feelings flooding around our brain and our bodies, it limits our ability to come up with different solutions. So we only see our brains going to survival mode. I just need to get you out of this situation. How do I get you out of this situation? Just don't go. Retreat back, retreat back, retreat back. Feelings will always cause us to retreat back. So if you're always listening to your feelings 100% of the times, you'll never, ever move forward. And back to this pandemic we're facing, that's why I listen keenly to what's happening on the news, to heads of state. Everyone keeps saying, we're going to go back to how things were. We're never going back to how
Yeah.
things were. It's just never going to happen. We're going to have a new normal, right? Because there's no way life will continue as it was back then before this whole pandemic. We're going to have more measures in place. Companies will have to rethink, okay, so in the event something like this happens again, strategies will change. But
Yeah.
we always want to go back to how things were because we are confident we can operate there. We're not sure how to operate that way, ahead of us. And you have to dig inside of yourself. You have to be able to put the feelings, as I say, on the passenger seat, strap the seatbelt on and say, look, we're driving to California and you're going to shut your mouth, but you're coming with me because you have to come with me.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, life happens to all of us, and you're right. And if you let your feelings take over, you're going to be stuck. One of the things I will share is, you know, again, life happens to all of us. Anytime I go and I do a speaking event or anything that becomes just so difficult, have you ever had those times that it just seems like you're trying to get somewhere, and every time you turn around, something
There's a
is just
roadblock.
going wrong? There's a roadblock,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, what do? Do you just say, forget it, I'm out, and that's it? Those are the people that are not going to get ahead, because those are the people that said, you know what, I'll just do it for a week, and if it doesn't work out, I'm going to go back to the way I was doing it. If you push through, there is something good at the other side. And I've learned from experience, and I got a lot of years of experience, that every time that happens to me, I get excited. And you might think I'm weird, but I just say, oh my God, what is waiting for me on the other side? Because everything is going wrong. And I know something good is happening, and it always something, either I have the best event or whatever it is that I'm trying to get to, it is like the best because I pushed myself that I would have never pushed myself. I would have quit. So push yourself. Push yourself. I love your message. I think it's so important, and not too many people out there on this mission. I wish more people were out there promoting this because I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, you're weird. You are strange, just like me. The other day I was in a mastermind, and I had the same thing happening to me. Just many blockages. And I've developed this mantra that nothing will distract me from my destiny. Nothing will distract me. Right? It won't disturb me. It won't distract me. I'll just find a way to maneuver around it. Yeah, it seems weird. And so everything was just not going right. And I told my mastermind, oh man, there's a big sunshine coming out. And they're like, what makes you say that? Because I'm facing so much rain right now that the only thing that's ahead of me has to be a beautiful sunshine. So it's
I
just about
love
having a
it.
positive attitude. And yeah, you see, when you develop your creative skills, you learn how to be comfortable with unfamiliarity, with uncertainty. You learn how to channel those emotions out. One of the reasons we are facing uncertainty right now is because we're not used to being still. We're not used to
Yeah,
just slowing it down. We are so busy. We live in such a rapid paced society. We're always going, 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 going. So now we have to actually sit and think
yeah.
and solution find. We're in panic because people are saying, look, I'm bored at home. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. Give me a guideline. Give me a program. Just sit, learn to, get into your inner self, figure out what's happening, write your ideas. I was just sharing to someone the other day that right now is the best time to launch a product, a service if you had it, if you've been waiting on it. People say, no, the economy is bad. No, no, no. Now is the best time because you get so much feedback. People are open to crazy ideas. So if you think your idea is crazy, it's the best time
It's
because no
it.
one is
Do
going to
it.
say it's crazy. People are willing to try it. Look, I have a service called XYZ online. Would you like to try it? Yeah, sure. The barriers to entry are so low.
I mean, come on. People are just sitting at home. This is a time to use wisely. Get, I mean, this is phenomenal. Um, Take that time. Don't just sit at home and do nothing. Go and better yourself. I love what you got to say. Uh, for those that are out there listening, if they want to get your book or be able to be in contact with you and see how you may be able to help them, how would they be able to get your book or be in contact?
Yeah, I would say the book is the best place to start because it's about helping you reveal your true value. You can get the book; it's on Amazon, anywhere books are sold. Yeah, I know Amazon right now with deliveries, so maybe a print copy might have a bit of delays, but you can get a Kindle version, a digital copy. So it's available on Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes and Noble, wherever books are sold is available. Blow the Lid Off by me, Robert A. Bell. Then you can find me right now. I'm telling people on good old internet. We're at a stage in our humanity where the internet is not revolutionary anymore. It's good old. It's time tested. It's like the post
Yes,
office. So
yes, yes.
you can connect with me on social media. I'm on LinkedIn, Robert Bell, ACCA. I'm on Instagram, Robert underscore Agufana. Agufana is Agufana. You can connect with me on Twitter also, Robert Agufana. On my website, www.robertabell.com. And yeah, just drop me a line, just give me a comment. What are you thinking? You want to join the mission? Sure.
Love it. I love it. I think it's great. Go out there and get the book. Blow the lid off. Even just the wording just sounds so exciting. I mean, it's fun, and you will push yourself to the limits, but it's worth it. It's worth it because the rewards you will get will be unbelievable. I cannot wait to read it. Uh, and it looks cool too. It's got light bulb. Love it. Love it. So thank you, Robert,
Yeah,
for
it's about
coming.
doing whatever it takes.
That's right. That's right. Wit. That's what I always say. Wit.
Yeah,
Whatever it
wit.
takes.
Blow the lid
Wit.
off, man. You got to blow the
Love.
lid off. Yeah,
I
with it.
love it. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to quote you on that one. I love it. Thank
Okay.
you for coming on the show. It was a pleasure to speak with you. I'm really, really excited, and I know you're going to do amazing on this mission.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed it. And thank you guys for listening and watching. Please comment so we know what's connecting with you and we want to make an impact in your life.
You will. You will. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.